Can you do push-ups?
Come on now.
Give me 10.
I was on a train, right? There was a group of maybe 5 or 6 guys, and they were saying it was what's stag do? That's it. And he had a t-shirt, and he had a list of things he had to do, and one of them was to do 10 push-ups with a stranger. And I think I did like 13, and he dropped off at the 10. And then there was like 3 little girls, and they were going to Roller Nation. They were like, go on sis.
So, I'm Teo.
Hi guys, I'm Roxanne Maria.
And I'm Valerie.
And you are listening to
the DAMIHOW podcast.
There we go. Amazing. Well done.
Yes, sir.
Talk to me, Valerie. Tell me something.
What do you want to know?
Start from the beginning. Who are you, and why are we here speaking to you today?
I am Valerie, and I am an online coach.
Cool.
And a content creator, I guess.
Oh yeah. What type of content do you create? What type of thing do you do?
Look, this is a serious question here. I'd like to say fitness content, but sometimes I divert. I divert sometimes, but yes, no. Most of my content is fitness, and sometimes I actually have been making a lot more skating content as well.
Do you know what's mad? I started skating like 6-7 months ago, but I went to Roller Nation.
Yes.
Yeah, I used to go there with a couple of my boys and do or try it, and then I was gonna buy a pair of skates, but then I said I'm not that invested.
Oh damn! Why not?
I can't lie.
It just goes so hand in hand with fitness. It
does, but it's too much for me. Wow. I can't manage it.
A quitter. We have a quitter.
I fell over once, and after that, I said, yeah. After that, I said, I'm not on it. I'm not really trying to get caught slipping.
That's
like that again.
Crazy. No, you can't fall over once and give up.
Yeah, no, don't worry, man. I stick to lifting weights. I'm good at that. I'll keep it like that.
Fair enough.
Do you want to tell us how you got into personal training and stuff?
So how I got into personal training, I've always been really sporty, and the only reason I went down like the whole fitness route was because when I was in secondary school, I was given, in our school we weren't allowed to do drama and PE at the same time, so PE, physical education, wasn't allowed to do two. It was literally the decision of PE has less paperwork. So we went down the route of PE, did it, went to college with it. College, obviously, while we were studying biology and anatomy and biology and all that, we started going to the gym with college. And then from then on, it just stuck. Stuck. Because it went hand in hand with what I was learning. And then I was like, you know what? I like this gym thing. Because I started off playing sports in school. And then it just went into, you know what? Let's perfect, the technique and the skill behind the sport by going to the gym.
What sport did you do?
They're gonna laugh at me.
Go on, hit me.
Basketball.
For real?
Yeah.
Seriously,
The funny thing is, I can see that.
You know what? The only reason you guys aren't laughing at me is because you haven't deeped how tall I am or how short I am. I'm 4'11".
I mean, I know that.
That's crazy.
I can see that.
Yeah, but back when we used to play basketball, it was very foundation level.
The was like down here.
They basically played it for bands.
Do you know what? It started off for bands, and it didn't help that my friends were a similar size to me as well.
Yeah.
And my reach is 6'2". I just want to put that out there. My hands are very long, so that helps a lot. Especially when I'm jumping. But no, it started off being something which was like very after school sort of thing. But a coach came into our school because our PE teacher realised we took it pretty serious. Yeah. So we started playing for the borough's team. And then the only reason I stopped playing basketball was literally because there wasn't enough girls on the under 15s team to continue and make an under 18s. So the only other option was to play for the opposing team. Now the opposing team, it wasn't just opposing as in, oh yeah, we got beef with you. No, like we actually hated the opposing team. We hated their coach. It was mad. So it was like, you can't go and play with them.
Yeah.
And then from then on, it kind of died out. And then we went into the gym because of that. But yeah, basketball. Basketball's where it started.
That's crazy. Did you play any sports?
To be fair,
It's football.
I didn't. I kind of did. I did athletics. I used to run. I used to do shot put. I used to swim.
Nice.
But my thing was distance running. So I used to do 1.5 and 5,000 meters. Ooh. And it was alright. Like I never liked it too much, but I enjoyed the training part of things. So like I would do the training, I do the runs, I do all of that stuff, and then I'll get to competition day. And I used to hate competition day because I was like somewhere in the middle. I'll be honest. I weren't great. I won a few races, but overall, I think training in general was the part of anything that I enjoyed the most.
Yeah, same. That's literally the same with me.
The preparation for stuff rather than actually doing or performing.
100%.
Because more or less the training is the hardest part of things, and it's what you do day in, day out consistently, and then the day that you do your test or whatever it is, it's just a quick 90
Yeah.
minutes or a quick 30 seconds, depending on what your event is, basically.
I could
if you know what I mean.
definitely relate to that. That's definitely why I started going to the gym, and that's literally in my head. There's a checklist of have I trained for this, and once I've got that thing that I've wanted to train for, you know, if you had the exam, I kind of tick it off instead of having an exam, and it's the next thing. It's what to train for next sort of thing. I don't really like the idea of the exam. The fact that I can do it, it's the idea that I work towards it. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you? You do any sport?
Not really, you know.
For real? So how did
Not
you get
really.
into this whole training thing, more or less?
I feel like my family's always really been into sports.
Yeah.
So like my brother is a bodybuilder. My sister played a lot of sports. My grandma, so it's always sort of been there. Like, do you know what I mean? So my brother's always pushing me to like go to a gym. Like I used to see him go, and then I just like going, and then I just liked it.
So like, bearing in mind, so both of you now, where you are now, with all your experience, all your training, all your knowledge, if you had to do a sport right now, professionally as a career, what would you pick?
That's a hard question because I never thought about that.
You know the triathletes, the people that do three things.
It's swimming, cycling. and
Yeah,
running.
yeah, that. Because I don't. Again, I don't. I've realized this very recently about myself. I don't like the idea of just having one.
Yeah.
I like the try idea. The idea that on Monday we can be specific about that thing, but then
Yeah.
Tuesday it can be completely different. But Monday's training helps Tuesday,
Fair enough.
sort of
Yeah.
thing. So a triathlete.
I like that.
I think I'll play tennis, you know.
Do you know what the thing is? I actually hate tennis.
Seriously.
I'm actually good at tennis.
I'll play tennis. I think tennis is just
I'm
so
actually
fun.
I prefer
very good at
badminton.
tennis.
Seriously.
And
I
badminton.
prefer
Yeah, I
badminton.
feel
Good
like
at
it's-
both of those.
yeah, like tennis,
feel like-
and then I'll probably swim as well.
Swim's
Yeah,
cool.
I'm good at swimming, so I'll probably.
I'm not great at swimming. I don't understand how I'm a lifeguard.
If it was me, I'd play basketball. But not because I'm good or because I'm tall. It's just because of everything I see on TV.
Oh, is it?
That's it.
I'm surprised you didn't say football.
Nah, football's dead.
Finally,
Thank the Lord.
somebody has said it.
Thank
I
the Lord.
always get called out. Like,
it's a mix of it. Football's cool. Football's calm to watch. I don't mind watching football from time to time, but I'm not. Yeah, football's not my thing.
exactly.
Yeah.
I've been saying. So
I
the
don't
thing
know.
is, I generally had a love for basketball. Bearing in mind, I went to a girls' school, so I wasn't like informed about what like actually is real about sports. I know that the general public love football in the UK, but I didn't know that because I went to a girls' school and we all liked basketball, so we
Yeah.
played basketball. When I'm telling people, I like basketball more than football, I'm more of a basketball girl. You're just trying to be different. You're just trying to be. I'm like, no, but like, have
wanna
you
be
deeped the
different so
game?
bad.
Have you deeped the game? Have you deeped the sass behind it, the rules and everything? I'm like, I like that. I like it.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I really do.
I do find it way more entertaining, definitely.
What basketball? We play?
Yeah, definitely. 110%.
Yeah, I guess so.
110%.
It's quicker pace, up
Yeah.
and down,
Oh, it's
consistently.
lovely.
It's like it never stops.
And there's just like a and then in the everybody's
Je
got
ne
their
sais
own.
quoi.
Yeah, they've got their own like
I give them one thing. innit? I think
pizzazz.
each individual on the basketball field can be way more stylish than you can be playing ball.
Way more
Because
stylish.
there's all
Yeah.
the, like just missing people, making them break their ankles.
And there's that thing
skipping
recently
left
that's
and right.
coming out from football saying that you can't do your little victory dance anymore.
Oh, yeah.
That's coming out.
Yeah.
If they ever try to do that in basketball, it wouldn't work.
Yeah, no, it won't work. It won't
You got
work.
there's too much
Honestly,
flair
it's just so, yeah.
to do that, to take that away. That's crazy, and it's gonna be even more boring. Have fun, guys.
So, career-wise now, what do you do?
I am an online coach.
Cool. Explain that to me.
An online coach. So I was gonna get into. I write personalized programs
Yeah.
for anyone that signs up. It usually is the minimum of 3 months, and we just programming specifically to the individual. Weekly check-ins, that kind of thing going on. Also trying to find a way to also just facilitate more ways in which I can help people. I've always said this to people, like people always come to me and be like, oh Valerie, how do you know? Like you look like you got it figured out. I don't.
Yeah.
It's literally one foot in front of the other, and this is my only general saying I always say is, as long as I'm helping people understand and know what I know really well, I don't really mind what form that takes. So for now it's
Yeah.
online coaching, but it could be that I start doing classes. Now I only teach classes, or if I do both. But online coaching for now, but as long as I'm helping the people.
So then, with that online coaching thing, do you ever do any like PT in person or anything like that?
So technically I don't. So I would only do the online coaching. So I don't take in-person clients. But what I like to do with my clients who are in London is, if it's been like a month or two of you being on a program, and I realize that maybe you're starting to slow down, or I realize that we can I can see us being,
Yeah.
you know, a good friend or whatnot, I'll meet up with them in person, kind of train with them in person as well. So it's not a PT session by where I'm kind of telling you what to do. We're training together, we're conversating sort of thing. Yeah. And then once we do one, tend to happen where we end up scheduling 2 or 3 in the future sort of thing. So I don't do in person, but like I see my clients in person. I like to have an actual relationship with them, not just them reading the programs.
You got a bit of both, basically.
Yeah.
In-person vibe, and there's that the whole online situation.
And then it helps with the online as well, because if I program something, I can refer to something that we've said in the session, so it becomes a little bit more personal. Or you can get, like when I'm typing, I know that I can type more in the way I speak because you'd understand it because we've been together in person.
In that way.
Exactly.
Fair enough.
So even in terms of like the whole online coaching and stuff, as we've seen on social media and even in like the fitness community, how do you feel about people who are not qualified PTs?
My face dropped. I think, do you know what the thing is? I have a very, very heavy conscience, and I have a very, very big heart as well. And from the beginning, because I got my PT qualification when I was 17, turning 18. From the beginning, when I got my qualification, I always thought to myself, this is someone's body. Like, I've spent most of because I did my GCSEs, I did the PE course and all that type of stuff. I've understood that this is a person's body. Not everybody is the same. And with that, you cannot play with taking 100%. Someone on. Like, working in the different gyms that I've worked in as well, I've come across someone who, you know, will sign up to training with me and not tell me until they've passed out that they've got like epilepsy and all that type of stuff. It's like, you can't play. And from the beginning, again, when I got my qualification, you have to get yourself licensed, you have to get insurance, all that type of stuff. And I just thought to myself, there's been moments that if I didn't have this insurance, like, this really could have gone wrong. And I'm like, why don't you have a conscience like I do? Because I knew to get the insurance. I knew, even when I was, the thing is, people can do in the park sessions and not even have your insurance. I'm so scared that I have insurance for in the park sort of thing. And I just think, I don't know how you don't have that conscience, but if you don't, then I understand that not everybody's the same. And I just feel like it's a dangerous game, because one day you take on a client that has a condition that maybe they don't even know, because often exercise can bring up conditions you didn't realize you had. It's dangerous. It's dangerous, but make sure I'm doing the right thing. I'm setting an example. Yeah,
you can only really focus on you. And
exactly, because if I start concerning myself and then getting wound up about that, they're going to do it anyway. They're going to make their money anyway. So I might as well just hone in and just channel that energy into making sure the people that trust in me with their journeys get, you know, a fair. And when it comes to insurance as well, the insurance will cover certain things. For example, I had a client that had passed out because as much as she was in a calorie deficit, she was not supposed to be eating as little as she did. When she passed out, she needed some medical coverage because it cost her. My insurance was able to help her, sort of thing. So it just, cover yourself. It just makes everything easier.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So,
but what do you think, like, if you did have to have an input and involvement, what do you think you can do or other people can do, i.e. qualified PTs and whatnot, to stop people from doing that type of thing?
I think it's just showing the difference. And I think it's showing this is the door that I couldn't open, and this is what you're capable of doing when you do things properly, and how much further you can go, just being safe. And also being, as a personal trainer, I know when, again, I'm using this one client that passed out, but if I, in that time, it was years ago, but if I, in that time, was a bit more open about it and, you know, maybe spoke about it on socials and spoke about the process, you would have seen, maybe it would have opened a few more people's eyes to be like, you know what, I gotta be careful. Yeah. So maybe speaking about it more often as we are right now, and just like emphasizing and highlighting that part of it as well, because sometimes that's not a thing. Some people might not even know that you have to be insured. So maybe making it a thing like, I'm renewing my yearly insurance. Yeah, that's the thing. You have to be insured. Yeah, go to prison if you don't have it.
In you now, how do you live your life? What do you do? What's different about you from others?
I'm a flower. I just grow. And I sway with the wind. Do you know what the thing is? It's so hilarious. And, you know, people who believe in the whole star sign stuff are going to put it down to where, you know, my star sign, which is a Pisces.
I can't lie.
I'm not. Yes, no, I'm not into
I'm
it,
a
but
Pisces too, but I'm not into it.
I'm not.
You're not into
I
it?
get it. No, I'm not
Okay,
into it, but
cool. I thought you was
everyone
gonna
will come back and
I thought
tell
you
me
was gonna
it's
say you
because
were,
of it.
because let's
Yeah,
say
If that
you
makes
were.
sense.
I
So
don't
whenever
know.
I explain and describe who I am, they're like, "It's because you're this." I'm like, "I am, but don't do that," sort of
Yeah.
thing. But I'm a very holistic, love in the air kind of person.
Yeah.
So everything is about, how can everything be better? Because I constantly say this on socials. We're not gonna, disregard that fact that sometimes life can be a bit rubbish and there's not so pleasant parts of it, but if we help each other and hold hands and be the best versions of ourselves to each other, then I generally believe in that kind of stuff. I'm cheesy like that.
Yeah.
I hear that.
See, no, look at these people gonna rain on my parade.
I hear that.
Go on with your pessimistic self.
But I feel like I know what people are like, and to be fair, if I'm being real, it's not even that I know what people are like. I know what I'm like myself. I'm not trying to say I'm a bad person or whatever, because I'm not. I'm lit. I'm amazing. But with that being said, I feel like I know what I would do in my worst situation, or in any situation for that matter. So with me, I just almost imagine that everyone else would do the same thing. Does that make any sense?
Oh, definitely. But then see, with me being in the clouds, I know that everybody wouldn't think the way I think. So there's me being in the clouds, but then there's also a level of reasoning that I've had to adopt because I didn't have it before. I was just in the clouds. And I know that then that's where the clouds come from, because when you're in the clouds, you can have a wider perspective. Do you get it? So I know that not everybody thinks like me, and I know that not everybody, comes from where I've come from, sees things the way I see things. And that's why you have to be the graceful, nice, kind person, not the one that's fake nice, but the one that you give grace and all that type of stuff, because you're not like me, because you might respond to something different. And why you responded to it different, I don't know why. And that's why I have to give it grace and be like, okay, cool, let's understand it. Let's hold hands and talk.
So on your socials, do you preach that message as well?
Too much. Way too much. Way too much. Sometimes I'm like, Valerie, stop. You're being mad cheesy. There was one time I wrote a caption and I asked my friend, it was late at night and we were skating, and I thought, let me just get it done now so that I don't have to think about it when I actually post this. And I asked her, gave her the phone, I was like, do you think this is okay to post? She read it and she was like, it's you. And I was like, wait, what do you mean it's you? She was like, you talk like that though. And I was like, what do you mean you talk like that? It's like, she went, okay, Valerie, if I'm being honest, it's very cheesy. Yeah. It's very, you made some of the sentences rhyme, and you definitely added the emojis at the end of every sentence.
But that's basically just you.
And I was like, okay, so like, is it okay to post? And then she was like, no, you have to post it because you wrote it and you didn't think about it as you were writing it. So you have to give people the authentic self. And I was like, yeah, okay, fine. You didn't have to say it's you though. You could have just said it's okay.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
But then when you drop this type of stuff, bearing in mind, obviously, I just had a different opinion from you as well. Do you get people on your socials that, again, respond to your stuff, but negatively as well as positively?
You could never, ever come to me with any of the negativity when I'm spreading my sunshine. I've never had it where someone has come to me or, responded negatively to whenever I completely just allow myself to be that, if that makes sense, immerse in my in the cloud self. Never. And I think if someone ever did, I'd be like, you're coming from a place of heart, exactly, you need to heal. And it's like, I forgive you, I love you, and I want better for you. Don't do that. Honestly. Sort of thing. And people often, the thing that keeps me going with being my cheesy self, it will be like 2 months later, a year later, someone will message me like, remember that post you did? Yeah, no, it got me. Like, there was this one girl, maybe 2 years ago, 3, because we've been in lockdown for ages. 3 years ago, I used to work in a gym in the city, and she came into the gym and she didn't even go to the gym, she lived near it, and she was like, yeah, I found your Instagram because of the area tag, and I just wanted to let you know that, when you post your stories most mornings, like, that's literally what gets me out of bed, because normally I don't really see the positive in things, and you usually come on with high energy, and I'm like, I nearly cried that day, because obviously as a PT, the day is going really quickly. Someone comes in at lunch to come and tell you, by the way, what you put out makes me get out of bed. And I was like, thank you. And that's what we keep being cheesy.
Yeah, I think that's what we don't realize. Like, a lot of things that we do sometimes actually keep people like just they actually looking forward to something.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean? So yeah, that's pretty good. But I want to ask you in terms of like fitness, because I get this question all the time, by the way. We're in the gym, blah, blah, blah. Like, what type of guy do you like? Do you like a guy who's in the gym? Do you like?
You have to be in the gym. You have to be in the gym.
Yeah.
In what way?
in the same way I am and better.
Yeah.
Simply because I was literally been redefining this in the past like week. I used to be okay with someone that trains, you know, it's absolutely fine as long as you keep yourself healthy. But now, because of where I'm stepping into my training, the kind of things that I am training, the kind of things, you know, the kind of strength that I'm gaining, the interests that I'm taking, the road that I'm going down with my training, I now want you to be better than that. Sorry.
Yeah.
I need you to, you know, like when it comes to, you know, the person I decide to be with, I need you to inspire me. Like as much as I will inspire you, I need you to be like, rah, like I rate that kind of thing. So we need to be setting pace.
But that's just like in his field of exercise, not necessarily just like being.
Yeah, no, I'm really
like, whether he's a basketballer or
no,
like
in the
swimmer,
gym,
boxing.
in the gym,
Only in the gym like that.
only in the gym.
I don't know. I never thought like I wanted someone.
You're saying
who
you
was
see guys in.
Stop. You see people when they shadow box, yeah? You see shadow boxing. No, hold on, I need a second.
I find it so funny.
No, wait, because if I start crying, what is shadow boxing?
I find it so hilarious.
What is shadow boxing?
It's part of the boxing something.
What is shadow boxing?
It's part of the thing, man.
And the thing is, they go
And they go so fast, she's gonna start crying.
No, you know what the thing is? Shadow boxing when you're a boxer is one thing.
Guys,
I'll turn the cheek. No, shadow boxing when you're a boxer. Do you know what? It's part of the profession. You gotta do it.
Yeah, as a
but when you shadow box and you're not a boxer,
maybe they're trying
just
to become a
know
boxer.
I'm in the corner laughing.
Nah,
Maybe they're
I find it so hilarious because find a bag.
nah, like honestly,
Find a bag.
like don't do this to
and
yourself.
you dare go to that bag and not have no gloves on, I'm gonna laugh.
Nah.
Because that's dangerous. I've seen people punch the bag on a whim. Let's say that.
bare knuckle on the bag. People just walk past that bag and just start hitting it.
Nah, honestly,
And then they just run away.
It's crazy.
Nah, that's why it's hilarious to me. Shadowboxing is hilarious, but no. See, my preference is you must be in the gym lifting weights.
So
you can do other things as well. Like say for
Yeah.
example, like I'm starting to really be into can't say it, calisthenics.
Calisthenics.
Cali. Yeah. Calisthenics. Yeah, Cali.
She said calisthenics.
There's an extra letter in there, and I don't know how to take it out.
Extra letters in there that aren't coming out.
Is it not calisthenics?
It's Cali. Let's just call it Cali for short and keep it moving.
Cali.
Yeah, whatever.
Like
Right.
if you were into Cali, and obviously that's mainly body weight stuff, and you occasionally did like a weighted gym session or two a week, fine. Because Cali is a discipline within fitness which can happen in the gym, and I don't mind that. CrossFitting, I'm not the biggest fan of, but equally again, I kind of started off CrossFitting, and I'll have it. Bodybuilding, of course, yeah, fine. But to be like mad, hench and big, it's not my preference either. But yeah.
So what are you saying? Can you do pull-ups?
Can I do pull-ups?
Yeah.
Just a couple.
How many?
Unweighted, maybe 10, 11.
Fair.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
I can't even do one,
Not bad.
honestly.
Can you do push-ups?
Come on now.
Give me 10.
10 on the... Nah, it's all right. You're
Don't
mocking
do
it.
this to
Give me
myself.
You're
10, give me 10.
mocking it. No, because
Don't
we
do
need...
that to myself.
You know what?
Don't do that.
Nah, you're mocking it. Must have
Don't
give
do
me
that.
10.
Chest to ground and back up. Alright, give me
You need
four.
to
Chest
bring
to
up.
ground and back up.
4?
Yeah.
Nah, you're mocking it.
Alright.
Mocking it.
Can't give me
Listen,
4.
4.
What, like, is that?
4. Do you know what
too much or
happened
too
actually?
little?
What happened was I was on a train, right?
Yeah.
There was a group of maybe 5 or 6 guys, and they were saying it was what was it? What's stag do? That's it. And he had a T-shirt, and he had a list of things he had to do, and one of them was to do 10 push-ups with a stranger. They were on the train. They came up to me, and the guy was like, can you do it with him? And he looked at me, and he was like, it's okay if you do like 5. And I looked at him, and I was like, don't piss me off. I was like, what do you mean it's okay if you can only do 5? I get on the floor, we get on the floor, I'm looking at him, and I'm trying to, you know when you're doing a push-up, but it's so easy that you kind of lift off the ground a little bit, so you're pressing, but you're like... So I've done like 5, and he's feeling it because the train is moving, but I'm thinking core strength, I'm keeping myself in the middle. He's sliding, and I'm like, keep going, and I think I did like 13, and he dropped off at the 10, and I kept going. I was like, are we done? Because don't test me.
Like, how dare you tell me?
Don't. How can you look at me and be like, it's okay if you do 5? And then there was like 3 little girls, and they were going to Roller Nation because I heard their conversation. They were like, go on sis, and I was like, yeah.
So you're feeling pretty strong, innit?
Feeling pretty strong.
Yeah.
I'm not doing it now.
Cool.
Why does he want to see? Why?
I just want to see you give me 5.
No, I'm not giving. No, I'm not giving you 10, 15, or 20. Nah.
I was gonna say, you see, being vegan, yeah.
I'm vegetarian.
Oh, you're vegetarian.
Yeah, but I float between being vegan and vegetarian. Hence why I say plant-based.
Cool. So being plant-based, how long? First of all, how long you been plant-based?
6 years.
And before you were plant-based, was you training as well?
Yeah.
And then, so in that switch over, if you can remember, like your year 1 of plant-based and the year before, what would you say was the like significant differences in your training? Do you feel like you were stronger, weaker? Up, down, left, right?
I felt lighter, and I'll never forget the day. And the video is somewhere. I've always been able to do 1 or 2 pull-ups because when I started training, I was very light, sort of thing. And prior to training in the gym, we did basketball training, and obviously in basketball training, coach would give you stuff like push-ups and all that type of stuff. So there was a little bit of strength anyway. There was a day that I was doing a class in the gym, and this was maybe like 2 months after not eating any form of like red meat or any meat or whatsoever. And I got into the pull-up bar and I did 4. And then the person who was coaching me through it, he was the person that suggested that I, try out the meat-free diet. And I looked at him and we literally turned around and been like, and then he goes, and he literally asked me, how do you feel? And I was like, I feel light. I feel like I can bend over backwards and do a backflip right now. And he was like, yeah, because there's nothing in your system kind of holding you back. And I was like, okay, cool. And I kind of stuck to it anyway, not because of any other reason than I didn't like, chicken that much. I didn't like red meat that much. I was already staring at it thinking, that's actually a cow. I'm a picky eater. I'm a picky eater because I don't even like certain vegetables.
Hearing someone tell me that they don't like chicken that much.
I've tried like doing it for like a week and I did it for
like a month, but
a month is long enough, but a week is not long enough.
No, but I was poorly prepared, so I didn't really like look into what I was gonna do. So my options weren't all that, and then I just everything just went wrong.
Because initially he challenged me and he said, do a week no meat, and I did that. I did the week, but in the week I didn't eat much. But then again, I think my head's always been of the mentality that I need to see something through, and I knew that I was having salads sort of thing, which is what you think you're gonna be eating. And I was like, I did the week. I went back to eating, fish and chicken, and then after the week, I was like, you know what? Let me sit down and let me look into this because my teacher who taught my PT course was like, anytime you want to do something, always study it, always find reasons against it, always find reason for it. So whenever you have a point that makes sense to you, try and find evidence against it and see what the evidence is and weigh it up, sort of thing. So that's exactly what I did. And then I went vegetarian. And then I was just like, I'm kind of sticking to this thing. I had the supplements there. I never at any point did I tell myself, you can't eat chicken ever again. I still tell people, like, bro, I'm not telling you that I'm going to stay like this forever. I'm not. Like, it's just continue right to go like this. And if one day I want to eat, there's nothing stopping me from eating chicken right now. Nothing. People put you in this box because, I'm plant-based. That means you stay in this box. You do not do this. You do this. Why? You need to have rules why. I just haven't eaten it. And if I do, I do, sort of thing. But the number one tempting thing is sausages. It's sausages. I miss sausages. There's this one sausage from South Africa that if I smell it, I may be tempted. But I smell chicken and I'm not entertained.
Do you know what's mad? So I don't eat pork in it. Obviously, like most people, that's nothing new. But I can't lie. Do off some bacon.
Yeah, bacon is good.
I cannot lie.
Bacon was my first thing when I was like 10 and I'd rip it and I'd be like, what?
When I was young, every morning I used to make 3 sausages, 3 eggs, 3 bacon and 3 sacks of pancakes.
Cholesterol.
Every single day.
Yeah.
I used to do that as a youth. That was nuts though, because like you just said, cholesterol, fat, everything. But I used to do it. I used to yam it off and then go train, lift all the weights to the gym and then go home. But can't be doing that no more. It's tough. But what I was going to say is, bearing in mind what I just said to you earlier about how obviously I tried for a month, I wasn't prepared, I didn't know what I was doing. What would then be your advice to anyone? Because you see these days everyone's trying to do something different, whether it's new training, new food, new whatever it might be. As someone who is in fitness more or less and out here teaching people how to do things, both training, exercise-wise, food and diet and nutrition, what would be your advice to someone who wants to start off doing plant-based, vegan, vegetarian, whatever it might be, even whether it's pescatarian, no meat, whatever it might be?
Start off slow. Like a lot of people, there's a really, I love this book so much called The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy. And he was talking about how people love to just go cold turkey. I'm never smoking ever again. after smoking 10-15 cigarettes a day. It's not going to happen like
it's
that.
not gonna happen.
You have to do it gradually,
Everything's
over
gotta have a
time,
taper effect.
very slowly. Now, in the instance of my own personal journey, yes, I did go cold turkey, but that doesn't happen often, and I'm not an example that you follow by. But naturally, what you need to do is there's meatless Mondays. You start off on a Monday. On Monday, I don't eat any meat, or on Monday, I don't eat any red meat or what's called again, or chicken. Still have fish. But then, okay, cool. Now Mondays you don't have it. And then let's say a month later, now it's completely meatless, no fish, no nothing. It's just the Mondays. And then let's say Fridays, flexitarian Fridays. I remember that one from school. Flexitarian means you have, let's say, a meatless or dairyless breakfast, and then have a lunch which could have meat. You decide, you are in control, and then dinner has to be meat free. That's 2 days, slowly but surely. And then it will be like there's some of your favorite recipes that you end up, meatless Monday's dinner ended up, pouring into Tuesday. Now you've got, 3 days, slowly but surely. That's with anything over time.
So you're just building it up, basically, taking
Slowly,
your time.
as you build up your recipe book, you find things that you like. And definitely one thing that I would highly recommend if you're trying to change your diet is going out and eating foods that you want to experiment. So that's why I'm often reposting pages and food places, because instead of you deciding, okay, I'm going vegan and I don't, cook chicken in this household anymore, and then there's nothing that you're cooking, go out to, Eat of Eden, go out to all these different places and taste the food and decide, okay, you know what, I want to know how to make that kind of recipe. Then you go home and you replicate it.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Slowly, catchy.
What's your socials now, anyway?
Very Valerie with 2 underscores.
And when you're out there using it, like, how do you approach your whole content making situation? How do you think about? So your name is, say that again, Very Valerie.
Very Valerie with 2 underscores.
Cool. So when you're out there producing content, what's the thought process? What comes into mind? How do you feel how do you generate that content outside of just the training and exercise stuff? Because you skate as well. So there's that, and then there's work, exactly, and then there's literally everything that you got going on at once. So how do you compartmentalize, and how do you decide what you want to make and what you want to put out?
The first thing that I always remember from the time I learnt it maybe just a year ago, is whenever you're putting content out, or whenever you're creating something that you want people to engage in, is you have to be a solution to something that they're missing in, or you have to kind of fill the gap for something that they don't already have, something they haven't already seen, sort of thing. So it's answering to that. For example, like you said, vegan places. So, okay, this is what I eat when I go out, and this is what I would pick on the menu. Yeah. Filling a gap of I don't know what to eat as a, vegan or vegetarian sort of thing. That's one way I look at it. The next way is I always remember, this is my socials. I only live once. As much as this is my business, I'm also documenting my life along the way. So there is stuff that occasionally when I post content, I'm like, that was for me. Like, I needed to post that for me, and I need that to stay there forever so I can watch that in a couple of years' time and be like, I started there, sort of thing. Especially with my skate content, I like to post it that way. Like, when I've learnt the new skill, I'll come back to it and I'm like, you know what? I remember that, sort of thing. And my creative process would be on Wednesdays and sometimes on Fridays. I have a big, massive sketchbook. I'm so annoyed that it says 3+ on it, because why did age have to be a thing? It's massive, and I've got colouring pencils, I've got crayons, and then I'll just get to work on what I want to create, things that, I haven't seen before, any skits that I want to start making, people that I want to, work with, and all that type of stuff. But I always just give myself the floor. It might not always happen. So there, sometimes, writers get writer's block, same way I have this sketch and I might be like, there's nothing coming out. But equally, sometimes if there's something on my mind on a Tuesday afternoon, I'll get it out, and often because it was one thing, it will pour and end up being another thing. So I just sketch it out, and then I'll be like, okay, I'll make that this, then, and then everything's all drafted. I make it in batches, that way I don't have to constantly always be thinking about recording new stuff, and then just save it, and then it's there. Poop.
Yeah.
So we got 3 months left of the year. What's going to be your plans What's new for you? So if we link up in December, what are you going to tell me that you've done?
We won't be linking up in December because I'm trying not to be in this country.
Differently from whatever you've done.
I'm trying not to be here. But in 3 months, I would like to... so I did a big session with one of my friends with the sketchbook. I carry the sketchbook everywhere, by the way. Massive sketchbook. And we just literally redefined, who are you? What do you stand for? What does your business stand for? And, you know, what kind of things do you put out? What's your vibe? You know, who are your favorite music artists? Who are, you know, do you have any quirky, you know, interests, and who are your favorite people who are leading in that, and, you know, who inspires you, all that type of stuff. So from as of last week, it's just kind of, I don't want to use the word rebranding because it's got the word brand in it, and I'm a person, I'm not a brand, but re-sculpting who I am, kind of thing, and, you know, coming out as this version of myself that, you know, I've kind of been prepping to be, sort of thing. So you just see that manifesting into reality in the next couple of months.
That's good.
And maybe a holiday, please, Lord.
Where are you trying to go?
Anywhere but here. I'm done with Europe, so I'd like to go somewhere in the motherlands, or I've never been to anywhere in Asia just yet, so that'd be nice.
Yeah, fair enough.
That's what I've been saying as well. Traveling Africa and like
Yeah, definitely.
Europe is so like similar and stuff.
Played out. I've been there.
Boring.
Done it.
That's lit. Yeah. Well, thank you. You know, it's been very nice speaking to you today.
Thank you guys for having me on.
I wish you all the best, and like I said, in 3 months, if you're here or abroad, I'd love to
We'll
see.
FaceTime.
Let us know. Yeah.
I'd love to see all the big sketchbook ideas come to life.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. So you guys have been listening to
DAMIHOW podcast.
And take care of yourself. All the best.
Peace.
Bye.